8 bureau directors, opportunities for lawyers. Participants are Pavlo Petrenko, Minister of Justice of Ukraine, Myroslav Lavrinok, Acting Director of the Coordination Center for Legal Aid, Yevhen Bystrytsky, Executive Director of the International Renaissance Foundation, and Oksana Kikot, Manager of Ukraine-Canadian Project, Quality and Accessible Legal Aid in Ukraine. Good afternoon, dear friends. I'm glad to see you all at our briefing, and I would like to inform you on the action and the project. We start with our international partners. We announce the broadening of the legal aid system, and according to Ukrainian constitution, each person has the right for a defense, regardless of its property status. And during 20 years, Ukraine didn't provide this protection. And those Ukrainians who didn't have the opportunity to get the lawyer, we have a lot of problems with the human rights protection. And last year, and the Ministry of Justice, together with our Canadian and American partners and international organizations, we opened a large-scale project. 100 centers throughout the country started its work, and 5,000 Ukrainian lawyers, together with the personnel of the center, they provided free legal aid to vulnerable categories, pensioners, ATO participants, and many other people who attended these centers to find the truth. In 7 months of the work of these centers, more than 100,000 Ukrainians got this help, and they got the lawyer and the right to defend their rights and the right for fairness. And the Ukrainian lawyers, in the interest of these people, they addressed the courts, and they won the cases. We took decision that this project should be broadened, and the Ministry of Justice, in the framework of our audit, liquidated regional offices of justice that were from Soviet era, and they didn't perform well. And due to the funds that were saved, we took the decision to create 400 bureaus of legal help in different towns and settlements of Ukraine. And today we announce a stage of this project, and we hire new people who will work in these bureaus. And there should be people who are professional, and they should be pleasant to work with, and they should help Ukrainians and not create obstacles to people. So my colleagues are going to tell you about selection of these candidates, and our goal is to select those people to these bureaus. We want to have young, active people with a bachelor's degree and who wants to work in new system of justice, that want to help Ukrainians and to defend the rights and justice. We won't employ former police officers and judges that were, who didn't get accreditation. So this process that we start, it is a symbolic process, and from the 1st of May, new law on state service will come into force, and I invite all young lawyers, get involved. You have the opportunity to choose the place of your work, and you have the chance for social lift, and we invite you to our family, the Ministry of Justice, so please take part in this contest. Good afternoon. The second wave of reforms in the Ministry of Justice is that from regional departments, we create special centers that will service our citizens, that will inform our citizens on their rights, because previously people didn't know where the regional departments of the Ministry of Justice are, and they were deployed on the 7th floor without elevator, and in order that our citizens couldn't find them actually. And we changed the approach, and our colleagues from other ministries, they will join us. So I invite all the lawyers and those who have bachelor's degree, please take part in this contest. That will be a great experience for you, the experience that you will need for your future career. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Oksana Kikot. I'm the manager of Ukrainian-Canada Project Quality and Accessible Legal Aid in Ukraine, and we started our work in 2014, and we cooperate with the Ministry of Justice, and our main aim is to improve the access of Ukrainian citizens and vulnerable categories to justice and to legal aid. We support the development of the system and the institutional development and human resource development. In the framework of this work, we supported, as the minister said, to broaden the system and establishment of 100 new centers. And our help is that we help to carry out first open contest for the positions of directors of these legal aid bureaus. And taking into account this experience, this year we help the coordination center in the carrying out of this contest. So the approach to vetting is a competence approach. We will assess not only knowledge but also competences, and for us it is very important the values of these candidates. And these candidates for the position, they should share values. These are impartiality, openness to new things, and client orientation. And these bureaus that will be created in small communities, they should understand the communications with these communities. They should be client-oriented, and they should understand the importance of communicating with the public. These are not bureaucratic institutions. This is help to people and communities. And we will support this contest in order that it was open, and the candidates should be assessed on an equal basis. And also we will provide some retraining, and we follow their development, and this project will last till 2018. And in Canada, there are 13 different systems of free legal aid, and Canada is a federation, and we have opportunity to provide access to Ukrainian specialists to introduce best practices, and we plan to do this. I represent Renaissance Foundation. As you may know, this is the fund that systematically works with the initiatives connected with human rights protection, universal human rights protection. And as I remember, in 2009, we started the program to support creation of centers of free legal help. These were 20 centers, and due to Canadian support for the last 2 years, this figure was doubled, and 40 centers are now working. And I thank the minister and the ministry. I thank Andrei Vishnyevsky, who directly headed this project, and his colleagues. because this project was institutionalized, and due to the help of our Canadian partners, the minister transforms the regional departments of justice in these 3 legal aid bureaus. Now, several words why we need this. Technically, you understand what is going on from the presentation of my colleagues, and we spoke a lot about it after Maidan, and we speak about dignity. That Maidan was the revolution of dignity. And what is dignity? What does it mean? So the basis of this dignity is the situation when the citizen is sure that he has rights, that they are defended. So the creation of such bureaus, and it is done by the ministry now, it provides the opportunity to the citizens to acquire and to get legal consultations and to know about their rights, to form their legal consciousness, and they can feel more confident in different situations that can be. And through these bureaus, they can have contacts with free legal aid if they are accused of minor administrative issues, but even some major accusations. So the citizens get legal knowledge and they know how to defend themselves. And it will create an incentive for improvement in the legal sphere, in the judiciary system and prosecutor's office system. So this is the move from the grassroots level to top, and several words about people who are going to work there. The same as in police, when people are hired, it is understandable that they should not only provide some legal advice. It is, of course, important, but the matter is that they should be trained. They should know how to provide this legal help and fix the major issues that are of concern for the community, and to systemize this issue and to build a network, information network, and inform the ministry about legal needs of citizens. So we are going to conduct trainings and writing of materials, and we share the practice in these centers, sociological surveys and other surveys. And it is a quality content, and it is important that those who work in regional departments of justice, and there are old personnel, but we should carry out contest selection, and people should be preferably young people with new forces, that they can be involved in this process of providing legal help. And we greet the ministry with this, and we cooperate with the ministry and NGOs. And I know that the Institute of Integrators is created now, so those activists that can make this transfer possible, and we are going to continue our cooperation, not only we, but also the society, and we are open for cooperation. And then the major task is to reform judiciary and court system. I'm very glad that I can support the statements of my colleagues, and to tell that free legal assistance is not at the first stage, but it moves ahead when we continue to develop the system, and we transfer to the practice when people can realize their rights. because we have a lot of rights, but the main thing is that we do not know about these rights. We do not know how to implement our rights, and we do not know who can help us in implementing. So I'm very glad to be a participant of this process that is on the way. And we are going at the level of territorial communities, and people who live there, we provide them with opportunity to get legal assistance. And I'm going to tell you about not about representation in courts. This is a very important part of our work, but we also develop very important direction to attract civil society and the lawyers to get involved in consultations. Firstly, people can get help from specialists, and then they can have other legal assistance, so we can inspire for this, and people will come to work with us, and we have a lot for them. We want that they represent interests in courts, and they need at least bachelor degree, and also they will have the mission to consult people. And as we call it, first legal aid that is free of charge, and also they will communicate the needs of people to the ministry. That is the function that is developed now actively. And you know that the most registers are open. They are open for the public, and there are many people who need these services, but they do not have computers. That's why we will we will help the Ministry of Justice to carry out its functions, and the people will be able to use computers at our offices. Also, this competition will be held in 3 stages. The first one is applications, the processing of applications. This is education of the candidates, their experience, and other things. So this is not a guarantee that the person who meet criteria will be employed. Maybe this is pessimistic view, but for us it is very important that there should be 2 other stages. Next one is distance learning. It's good when people come and they should know about the system in which they are going to work, the mission of this system. And the last round is to round of motivation, because you know there are many lawyers who do not share values that is our priority, and there are 2,000 applications, and the number of bureaus is 434, and we plan to employ 2 persons in each bureau, so we cover the need, but you can apply for about half till about the middle of the summer. So if you share our values and you are ready to cooperate, you will have the opportunity to apply. When the contest is over, all 3 stages, we mean, these people will be under review of special commission, and there 2/3 of the commission will be of civil society, so people will decide who will work in these bureaus. So this is the main information, and you have the materials of presentation, and you can see other information. So I would like to say to those who watch us and who wants to apply, firstly, you can apply through the site of the Ministry of Justice and through the site of free legal assistance. There is a form of application. It is simple. You can state your personal data and information about your education, and then you can, you can choose 5 settlements where you want to work. Not 1, but 5. At your choice, if you undergo this contest. Secondly, this application and contest will last till the end of May, so there will be maximum number of contestants. And then the third one is that in the process of contest, we will have distance training, and even though those who won't succeed, they will have the experience not only in competition, they will get knowledge, and if it will help them in search of other work. So these components form new approach to employment, to new structure. This is not state service, but we build the approach that is in the new law and civil service. And I invite all young lawyers, bachelor's, you shouldn't have master's degree. Bachelor's degree is enough to take part in our contest. The main is your wish. That you should be inspired, and the job that you get will be not only interesting, it will be motivated by the salary. So the salaries are higher than in a civil servant's position. So these regional departments were liquidated, and the money that were saved because of this will be spent on the salaries of these positions. That's why we ask you to take part in our contest. Before questions, I would like to say that this presentation is at the site of Coordination Center, and it will be at the site of Ukraine Crisis Media Center. So all the details you can get from the page. It will be in half an hour there. So now the questions about the briefing. Do you have the questions? Georgians of Maidan, Livan. I have a question to Mr. Minister. Mr. Minister, I addressed to you with official letter to get legal help. And after your interference, I got the letter from the territorial department that discredit the Ministry of Justice. There it was stated that they didn't provide some compensation to the head of the department. They just didn't provide him with additional money, and they didn't return property to us. And why should he be paid if he deprived people from their housing? It's not the question about the issue that we discuss now. Do you have questions about those innovations that were discussed today? Good afternoon, RBK, Ukraine, Mariana Prisezhnuk. I have a question to Mr. Petrenko. What is the salary of these employees that will undergo this contest in these centers? So maybe the representative of Coordination Center will provide the answer. So it's about 3,500 until 5,000 hryvnias, and for regional centers, it's a competitive salary for settlements, because, for example, in state administration, people work for 1,400, 1,500, and we will create a situation when they can get 3,000 to even 5,000. So the salary will be competitive, and they will work in the new system of service center. Thank you, Mr. Minister. And here is the slide and the answer to your question, from specialists till the heads of bureaus. So we have an ambition to increase the salary to 5,000, and work now with the Ministry of Finance. So this is the competitive salary for small settlements. So it means that this is the basis, and there can be some other forms of compensation. And also the law and state service. Do you plan some additional resources from the rest of the fund? The activity of these bureaus of legal help is one of the elements of the centralization process. We will help the territorial communities and to carry out a part of their function as to provision of legal aids to those citizens that will address to us. And we hope that during the next stage, the communities can co-finance these projects, and this will be for them the opportunity to provide work to their residents, and also we will choose more qualified personnel to these bureaus. So at the first stage, the Ministry of Justice took the burden of provision of funds, and now in 20 years we advanced in the sphere of provision of legal aid, and this is a system that develops, that guarantees the defense of human rights, and then we will actively involve communities that can co-finance, and also we can involve international organizations in this process. So we have time for questions. Please ask. Please introduce yourself first. Good afternoon, Artur Varov, lawyer. I have a question. And can we, for example, have two positions of head and deputy head in the centers, or to correlate it with the activity of the lawyer? So this is a frequently asked question. The law allows this, but in practice it will be very difficult to have both these positions, because the lawyer should work on the materials and also to be present in the court hearings, and the representatives of the bureaus, they are not civil servants, and they will have full working day. That's why it will be very difficult to realize it in practice. Dear colleagues, I thank you for your questions. Thank you. I'm sorry we have next briefing. So you have time till 1st of September, so you can come to us again and inform us. So we will show these centers, and then we will inform you on this, because this is a very important reform. Please inform us on the situation. Thank you.